Hey everybody, welcome back. It has been too long since I uploaded a video. I haven't had as much time with real life activities to dabble in playing with the latest update. I did finally get the game updated and play a little bit with the latest Fox 3 update, which the AMRAAM missiles that have come out now and changed the meta again for top tier jets. I wanted to go ahead and just give a couple of thoughts for the arcade players out there. I know it's heavily proportionate, or disproportionate I should say, for the majority of the people that play real battles, and there's a very small percentage that play air arcade. So if you are trying to get a grasp of radar missiles, which I did some previous videos in the past on some key bindings for radar missiles, I did have to go back in and change the key bindings out again, because with air arcade you spawn in really fast into the game, and the maps are a lot smaller, so you have even less time than you had before to set up your radar into the right mode to begin acquiring your targets and launching your missiles. And with these Fox 3 missiles, which you can launch beyond visual range, you just need to fire and forget. And if you're within enough range, it's a very high percentage that you're going to probably connect with your target. So let's go ahead and revisit the control scheme first, because you're going to have to, at the minimum, set these up. So if we go into our controls menu, and we're going to go into our mechanization. So this is going to be all of the different controls not related to weaponry. And if we scroll down into our radar settings here, you need to definitely set up your change radar IRST mode. So to change your radar mode, you're going to need to be able to switch it to the track while seek mode, the TWS. This is the mode you're going to use to ping your target. They're not going to pick up the ping that's coming in. You'll be able to paint them, and then you'll be able to send that information to your missile as you get your 2 circles for your missile lock for your AIM 120, or for the Russian one, I think it's the R73E or something like that. You will fire your missile off, and then you will change your target. So first thing you want to do is set your search mode, or change your radar mode, because if you start out, it's typically going to be in SRC mode or pulse Doppler mode, and that mode will be alerting their radar warning receiver. So you want to switch to TWS as quickly as you can, and then you're going to be able to change your search mode. So changing the search mode here is important as well, because it can narrow the range or increase the range. So normally I think it's like 19 kilometers or 37 kilometers. You're going to want to increase the range up, especially when you start at the beginning of the game. And I'm going to demonstrate this very shortly once we get into a game. You're going to want to increase that range up to, like, I think it's 90 something or 100 kilometers depending. The 37 works when you're in a small, like, domination match where you have like the 3 airfields, but anything bigger you're going to need to go to like 70 something or whatever, 90 something. And then from there, once you've set the range, you should be able to start acquiring targets, and you will need to set your lock radar on IRSD target here. So for me, I've set my mouse button to basically lock on. Select target to lock. Radar target would be your AIM 7s. Your select radar target to lock would be whatever button you've set. And because the keyboard is already overwhelmed with the amount of features that they keep adding to the game, it's getting a bit redundant where you have to reuse key bindings but add an additional button to kind of differentiate it from what you're used to. And one important thing is, by default, the game has a Shift A default key binding, and if you get into that Shift A, which is that button that shows up on the bottom of your screen when you're flying, it will switch into a missile select or a weapon select screen, and that will completely screw you up in the middle of a dogfight. So if you're in the middle of a dogfight and you're trying to lock on, for me, I use my left shift for my enabling the lock on sequence for my missile, and if I hit A because I'm rolling left, it's going to cause that screen to be activated, and then I end up losing the ability to control my aircraft because it's thinking I'm trying to select weapons or whatever, and then I end up eating a missile. So after dying a few times and getting frustrated, I just deleted that key binding and reset up some of these. So it's going to be dependent on what your play style is, but you definitely need to be able to change your radar mode. You need to be able to change the distance that it searches, and then you need to be able to lock that target. And then from there, obviously, you use whatever button you use to fire your locked missile. Use that same button that you like, or set up something new. Those are the bare minimum you would need to be able to at least play with AIM 120s. One other thing that you need to double check as well is under general battle settings. I think it's either air battle settings. Let's see where it was. Yes, the target's cyclic switching of aircraft radar. I don't know for anybody else, but for me, if I disable this setting, I cannot lock anything up. I can see them on the map. I can get my radar to see them, or TWS to see them, but it will not lock on, and then I'm unable to actually get a missile to lock. And then as I'm approaching them, I'm closing the distance, and then nothing happens. I can't fire anything, and so then I have to reset. And it ended up happening a whole game where I couldn't lock anybody, and all I could do was use heat seekers and not use any of the radar guided stuff. So for whatever reason, that has to be on so you can actually switch between targets. Maybe it doesn't let you swap between targets, so maybe I'm being dumb and not understanding what this means. But from my experience, I leave that on. I don't use a rectangular radar. Maybe it's a preference thing, but I think when I had that combination and this on, it still gave me some weird behavior where I couldn't swap between targets or even lock on. So it's important to do that. So we've covered the button sequences to change your radar mode, change the distance that it's looking ahead of you, and then being able to actually select them and then lock on. So let's see if we can find a game and demonstrate. Okay, thankfully it did find a game immediately. So I will do my best to narrate while we get into the match. It ends up being pretty fast for fighting against a bunch of people. So I'm going to take my F-16C, and I'm taking all AIM 120s, no AIM 9Ms. And I'm going to switch to TWS. I'm going to switch to 74 kilometers. And, sorry. And I'm going to try to acquire my targets here. Okay, that one was pretty close. There's another one locked up there. Fire, forget. And it looks like before my missile could get there, they were already eliminated out of the air. So we're going to reset here. I have 4 of them left, so we'll circle back around. I do see a missile coming in, so I'm going to use the terrain here and just get behind the terrain here so that if it is flying in a straight path, it will end up eating the missile and leave the mountain. There we go. They're unable to dodge it completely. There's another one we got. And unfortunately, I'm trying to use AIM 9Ms there. Yeah, the AV-8B Plus does take 120s as well, so I'm looking forward to having an opportunity to try that one out. And that F5 hit the ground there. And thing we got to remember is to keep our speed up. I was dangerously slow at that point all around their spawn, so not exactly a smart move to play. I can show the same thing with the F-14 because we can use TWS with AIM-54s. So again, TWS, I'm increasing the range there. You see that it's all the way up to 93 kilometers like I was describing. We're just, once we get the 2 circles, we fire and then we forget. That one looks like it's going to be notched, so he's kind of flying in a horizontal pattern. It's going to be a little bit harder to acquire there. But game's over, so didn't really get a ton of kills there, but we're able to at least demonstrate. We'll try to do one more for the sake of the video. We can find one more game to do this on. So again, rapid switching of your radar mode, the range switching, and then trying to acquire your target and then fire as fast as possible to get things through there. Let's try again here. See, it's a little bit smaller game here. We'll try again. Okay, so we're going to switch to TWS immediately. Increase our range, and then try to fire our missiles off. Oh, I took the wrong. I took my wrong F-16 by mistake, and that's my own dumb fault, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to just rush in now, and I guess just run interference, and they can just dump their missiles off chasing me. We can take out the biggest threats are going to be the F-15, the Su-27. Then hopefully we can. If you're close enough and you use your AIM-9Ls in a rear aspect shot, they're pretty much not going to be able to dodge it. I'm sure you've had those games where you had a A-10 that just somehow ends up killing you from behind, and you're like, how did that happen? I thought I dumped enough flares. Well, AIM-9Ls can have some really strange success from the rear aspect, so just one thing to keep in mind. Alright, 120 got me like I wasn't knew that was going to happen at some point, so we're going to try to come back in with our F-16C now, hopefully the right one this time. And see if we can return the favor here. There we go, locked on another one. That MiG-29, Su-27, another Su-27, that F-16. Yeah, I got a crit on that F-16. He's done. He's going down. For it, but that was worth it. We got one AIM-120 left. Let's extend back out, hoping we can get enough distance here. One thing you can also use to your advantage, if possible, is you can use a terrain. If you get really, really close to the ground, it can make it a bit harder for that missile to predict your trajectory, and it will probably eat the ground trying to get ahead of you. The only problem you have to watch out for is the hitboxes of these trees, because the tree hitboxes can extend out rather high over where you think it is. So when you're trying to fly over it, it might actually extend up in open space and then count as a collision with the tree when you actually didn't even come near the tree. So. For that MiG-29 for now. MiG-29 is on fire. F-15 is dumping a ton of missiles now. Let's see if we can get them here. I do see there's another F-16 alive there. Gunned him down there. Let's keep extending out. That's an ADF, so if it's AIM 7s, I think we have a good chance of evading that missile here. Mach 1. And he's running AIM 9L, so hit the tree. Too bad. Probably too fast and too close to the ground, but it's fine. We will try with our AIM 54s again, and then I'll come back in with an F-15. I haven't unlocked the new F-15, so that's going to take some more games to get there.
Another zone captured. We have the advantage.
Okay, he crashed into the runway there. And you see I blocked immediately and I fired immediately. Try to get those shots off there. Very good stall fighter, the Su-27. My wing is, I didn't realize I lost a wingtip there. Oh wow, super close. Dodging these missiles there. Oh crap. Almost saved it, but not enough. We will come back in with our F-15 next. The M54s, I mean, with that close range that I was doing, they're not really going to help. You saw that I disabled and re-enabled my radar. I do have the issue sometimes where my radar will skew to the left or to the right, and then I can't lock on to stuff directly in front of me. And so in a way, to reset it, I will turn it off and turn it back on, and then it recenters the scope. So that's an option. You can toggle a keybind to turn on and off your radar to reset it. Also, it might be useful if you need to just disable it when you're trying to use your guns up close and you don't want that compensation calculation to turn on and then it messes up the gun sight, which I've shown in previous videos. So until next time, I hope this was informative. It's going to take practice to get familiar with new key bindings as they keep adding stuff. It's important. So until next time, thank you, and I'll try to have some more content once I have the next F-15 and Harrier and Russian planes unlocked. Thank you.